What is your advice for Robert Saleh going into this game?
Am I the ones?
Whoever wants to take a crack at it.
I can start this one. I went back and watched the first two series the 49ers defense played against the Seahawks, because over the course of those first two series, the Seahawks ran 9 plays and picked up 5 total yards of offense. They had some costly penalties. Mitch Wishnowsky did a good job pinning them at the 1-yard line. But I like the creativity. Not that, like you talked about, Grant, you talked about having more of a coverage approach and daring Drew Brees to beat the coverage and not blitzing. But I kind of like that aggressiveness.
Okay, fair enough.
Well, I kind of like the aggressiveness because the offensive line of the Saints is giving up like the 3rd or 4th least amount of sacks. They're giving up whatever rate it is. I know their defense is averaging like 3 sacks per game. I forget what their offense is giving up, but it's the 3rd lowest amount in the league. They've invested heavily in their offensive line. They have Andres Pete, the left guard, Teron Armstead, and Eric McCoy, Cesar Ruiz, who they drafted from Michigan this past year, and Ryan Ramczyk. They invested a lot of draft capital.
It's like nothing but first-round picks on that.
It is.
Or something like that, yeah.
It's like the 49ers defensive line. They just turned it around and did it on offense. Basically that same approach where they're trying to protect Drew Brees knowing he's not mobile and can't really protect himself.
Right.
So just looking at Aaron Rodgers and Russell Wilson, they've had so much time to throw where the Saints receivers are going to get open. If Drew Brees has 4 or 5 seconds to throw the ball, he's going to make the right decision. If no one's open, he's going to throw it away. I don't see him making game-costly mistakes, which is why I loved on that second play of the Seahawks game, here comes K'Wan Williams with the corner blitz. I want to see Jamar Taylor doing that. I want to see Fred Warner blitzing. I want there to be pressure on Drew Brees. This is a very different 49ers defense, and I want to see the aggressiveness and trying to cause turnovers and not play it so safe and conservatively.
Well, real quick, since I said coverage and you say be aggressive, I don't disagree with you. Whatever Saleh does, he's got to mix it up. You can't have like one answer on third down.
No, I agree with
there's
that.
a rotation of 3 or 4 things you got to throw at him. But you're
Absolutely.
right. You're right.
You got to keep them on their toes. And I'm not
Absolutely.
saying that you need to blitz the entire game with the whole have him win with the cover. He'll be caught off guard. He'll have it in his head if you're hitting him with the blitzes, like, okay, when's he coming? And then when you're dropping back, that's when the mistakes happen. But you got to keep Sean Payton and Drew Brees on their toes. You have to.
Right, because they'll adjust if you do the same thing every time. Maverick.
I just think learn from what Todd Bowles did last week and know that's not the answer, because although I think Todd Bowles is a good defensive mind in the NFL, he got overmatched last week. They had no chance. They were playing soft coverage on a team that throws soft routes. And you'll never be able to convince me that was the right game plan. That's one of the things, like I could listen to it for hours and wouldn't know. But Saleh can, Saleh can do the opposite, play some more man, and we've seen they've been playing a lot more man since Sherman's been out, and that's been working. And then, as Nick was saying, blitz a lot, use Jamar Taylor, use Fred Warner, get Tarvarius Moore out there if he was allowed to. We all know he's not allowed to play, but if he could, that'd be nice. And then, as I told you yesterday, Grant, Brees, 5.5 intended air yards per pass attempt. Play the short pass. If he throws deep and Jared Cook beats you for 80 yards on the first play, tip your hat. Like there's no reason why you would think that would happen. But play what you've seen on tape.
As far as blitzing goes, you got to be real careful against Drew Brees. I mean, blitzing the greatest quarterbacks of all time can be dangerous. So what I would say, when you do have to blitz him sometimes, a good way to do it would be with a zone blitz, where you're still only rushing 4 and you're just kind of concealing where it's coming from and trying to overload one side of the protection. Here's what I'm going to go back to what I said with Saleh. This game comes down to third down. They're going to do a good job of limiting explosives on first and second because that's what they do, and the Saints don't try to get explosive plays anyway. They just want to get to 3rd and 4 and then get a 5-yard pass. So to me, what you got to do, I actually been in favor of playing what I said, this like cover 3, but really like 1 deep, 5 underneath, like flood that underneath zone. And what I would say is bring Jimmy Ward down to strong safety. You want him in the action. Okay, you want him there, not playing deep. You want him underneath in a position where he can make a play, and you gotta play Tarvarius Moore, Robert Saleh, because Marcel Harris had a shot last year. He stunk. Marcel Harris is good against running teams like New England, But if your whole game plan on third down is to flood the underneath zones and force them to go deep, then you better have a free safety in center field who can make a play and cover ground. And you do. You freaking do. His name is Tavarius Moore. He's number 33. He went to Southern Miss. He's on your roster. Please, man, put him in center field. Don't ask Marcel Harris to play center field while Jimmy Ward's in. Don't do it, dude. Please don't do it. Please don't do it. This is the one piece of advice. Play Tavarius Moore. He could make the play that wins the game for you. You know he's not gonna have to make too many plays against the run. It's a passing game. Put him out there. I'm serious. And you know what? I think they might. I think that might be one of their curveballs this week. I think they might. So we'll see. If they don't, I'll lose my mind. I'm just gonna lose.
Same. I will too.
What is that line from Billy Madison? I'll just snap. If enemy shoot attempts to cheat, especially with my wife, I'll just lose it.